بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأصلي وأسلم على من بعث رحمة للعالمين نبينا وحبيبنا محمد بن عبد الله صلوات الله والسلام عليه تسليما كثيرا. Welcome to our program here at Iqraa TV, Freedom in Al-Islam, where we've been dealing in the previous 12 days, the 11 days that have gone before us, and today being the 12th, we've been dealing with different aspects of the issue of freedom in accordance to the understanding that Muslims who are on the middle path of Al-Islam have. The understanding that comes from the Quran, and the understanding that comes from the Sunnah al-Mutahhara that the Prophet brought, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam. In our previous episode, we were talking about utilizing our time and utilizing our efforts and utilizing the freedom that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given us in order to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla and to take advantage of this blessed month. Verily, the time is a tremendously important commodity in the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. And concerning it, most people are lost. They are maghboon. The Prophet, he said, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, ni'matan maghboonun fihima kathirun min al-nas. As-sihhatu wal-faraq. There are two ni'mas, virtues, blessings that Allah has bestowed upon people. Most of the people, many of the people, they are losers in these two favors. They are losing them. They're not taking advantage of them. The first one he mentioned was having good health. A person has good health, and while he is enjoying good health, he or she does not take advantage of doing the good deeds that they should be doing because their health is helping them to do so. And the second ni'mah is the ni'mah of having time. Having time before getting married, before becoming preoccupied with your career, before becoming an individual who things are really on top for you. Take this opportunity to learn about your deen and to do as much as you possibly can do in order to get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As it relates to the time, it is so significant and it is so important that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam received the Quran, and in the Quran is that short surah that I'm sure every single person who is watching me right now and listening to my words right now, he is hafiz of that surah. And it is the chapter in the surah of the Quran called Al-Asr, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنوا وَآمِنُوا وَتَوَاصُوا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصُوا بِالصَّبْرِ. He swore that the Asr time, all of mankind, by time, he swore, all mankind, they're in a state of loss. And when Allah Azza wa Jalla swears, Allah can swear by whatever he wants to swear by. He can swear by the duha time. He can swear by the moon or the sun, as he mentioned, وَالشَّمْسِ وَالضُّحَاهَا. He can swear by the layl, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَخْشَاهَا. He can swear by whatever he wants to swear by, because he is the creator of all of those things that are in creation. Or as the human beings, when they swear, we only swear by Allah Azza wa Jal. We cannot swear by the Quran. I swear by the Quran. You should not swear by anything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of the ulama in Al-Islam allowed an individual to swear by the Quran, but since the companions did not do that, we should not do that. The Quran is the speech of Allah, and it is a characteristic from his characteristics, and it is not created. But since we don't find that the companions did this particular issue, we should avoid it. Allah Azza wa Jalla swore by the Asr time that all of mankind, they are in a state of loss, with the exception of those people who believe and those people who do the salihat. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Those people who believe and they do the good deeds, and from the good deeds is that they mutually encourage each other and they advise each other to have patience and to be upon the truth. Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i, he mentioned concerning this particular ayat and hadith and this surah of the Quran, and Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, had Allah revealed this surah and this surah alone, it would have been enough for the guidance of mankind. And what he meant by that statement is the benefits and the treasures that are contained in the surah. So the point here is, this is the time to take care of what Allah Ta'ala has blessed us in the way of time. Almost any and everything in this dunya can be replaced. If a person were to lose his wife, or she were to lose her husband, then after the death of the husband, after the death of the wife, when a person becomes a widow, she becomes a widow, there's someone else who can come and take the place of the husband. And it's possible that she can love the new husband more than she loved the previous one. Although she may find that hard to conceive at the beginning, it's not something that is impossible. It happened with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when our mother Salama was married to Abu Salama, and then Abu Salama died, and the Prophet married her after Abu Salama sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam. The Prophet was a better man and a better husband than Abu Salama. Although the lady, before having the marriage conducted, she didn't think anyone was better than Abu Salama as far as a husband, because she loved him so much. So the point here is, Allah Ta'ala can replace your husband, can replace your wife with someone who is a better spouse for you. Allah Azza wa Jalla can replace the love that you have for your mother with the love for someone else. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, al-khala bimanzilat al-um. The maternal auntie is just like the mother. So if a person were to lose the mother, he can focus that love and attention on his khala, on his mother's sisters, his aunties from the mother's side, or some of his aunties from his father's side, on his wife's mother. So almost everything can be replaced in this dunya. A person, if he were to lose his arm, la samahallah, he was to lose a limb, something happened, they were afflicted with the disease of cancer. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us and help us from that cancer, because it is a serious sickness. So the lady, she had to get an operation in which she had her breast removed, for an example. All of that can be replaced. A person can get a prosthetic arm to replace the arm that was lost. It won't be the same as his previous original natural arm, but it's replaced and it does the job. Prosthetic feet, prosthetic legs. But one thing that cannot be replaced in this dunya, it cannot be replaced, is time. Up until this point, the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes that have passed in our program so far, those seconds are not coming back to us again. We won't see them again. It's like the breath that we take. They call the art of breathing at-tanaffus. At-tanaffus is when you breathe. It's when you breathe. Some of us, we know the girl, her name is Nafisa, or the man, his name is Nafis. That word at-tanaffus comes from that. Nafis, it means something that is extremely expensive, something that's extremely valuable. So a person's breath is like that, it's valuable. As a result of that, we shouldn't waste our breath on issues, on things, on people that it's not worth it. But instead, we should engage ourselves in those things that are going to bring us immediate benefit. And from those things at the top of the list in terms of actions is as-salat. As-salat. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam informed us about a critical issue that's going to take place Yawm al-Qiyamah. He said in an authentic hadith, Inna awwala ma yuhasabu bihi al-abdu min a'malihi yawm al-qiyamati as-salat. The very first thing that Allah Azza wa Jal is going to ask the people about Yawm al-Qiyamah is that He's going to question them about their prayer. If their prayer was right and exact, then all of the rest of their deeds are going to be correct. They're going to be right and they're going to be exact. And if his prayer is wanting and it is lacking, then the rest of his deeds are going to be wanting and they're going to be lacking. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to the malaika, Unduru ila salat abdi. Unduru ila salati abdi. Look at the prayer of my slave. Did he complete them? Did he take care of them? And if he completed them, he made them on time, he did them correctly, then he's going to get rewarded. Allah will say, but if those prayers were lacking and they were deficient, he will say to the malaika, look at the tatawwa of my abd. Look at his nawafil. Look at the extra prayers that he used to make. The prayer of entering to the masjid and making tahiyatul masjid. The 2 rak'ahs connected to fajr. The 2 connected to dhuhr and the 2 or 4 after. The 2 4 rakat before Salat al-Asr. The salats that are connected to Salat al-Isha. The salat of al-Istikhara. The salat of al-Ishraq, al-Duha. Allah Azza wa Jalla is going to say, look at those nawafil prayers, those sunnah prayers, and if my slave, if his prayers were lacking, then complete them with those nawafil. And this is one of the benefits of the salat of al-Taraweeh. And this is one of the benefits of trying to make as many prayers as you can possibly make, especially if you're one of those individuals who you spent a part of your time and you were not praying at all. The first few years of your life, when you were a teenager and in your early 20s, you didn't pray at all. You are responsible for those prayers, but you don't know how many you missed, so you shouldn't go back trying to make them up. There's just no way of calculating that. You can't calculate it. So what should the person do? He should make tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jalla for those prayers that he missed. And he should also try to do as many prayers as possible from the nawafil. And this is one of the main benefits of Salat al-Taraweeh. When you go to the masjid and you're praying at Taraweeh and you're tired and you want to get out of the prayer, or you break your fast and you say, well, today I'm tired. I'm just going to take a rest and I'm not going to go. And the shaitan, he comes to you and he makes waswas and he whispers to you and he says to you, Allah is Ghafur Rahim, and the religion is easy. Allah Azza wa Jalla said in the Quran, Yuridu Allahu bikum al-yusr wa la yuridu bikum al-usr. Allah wants ease for you. He doesn't want to make things difficult for you. Yuridu Allahu an yukhaffif ankum wa khuliqa al-insanu da'ifa. Allah wants to make things light for you. And mankind, they were created da'if. Ma ja'ala Allahu alaykum fi ad-dini min haraj millata abikum Ibrahim. The person brings all of these ayat and ahadith, and he says, I'm not going to go today, I'm going to rest. No. If you're really, really tired, then rest. Those ayats are applicable. But if you've missed prayers, you need to go ahead and make that salat and make jihad. So we'll, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla, continue after the commercial break, if Allah Ta'ala wills. Welcome back, brothers and sisters, dear respected viewers. As we were mentioning prior to the commercial break, those of us who were in a state of negligence at some point of our Islamic development during the formidable years where salat was wajibah upon us, but due to our negligence and due to our being from the ghafilin, we didn't pray. As I mentioned to you, one of the best ways of making up those prayers that were wajib that you missed is to go ahead and pray Salatul Taraweeh throughout the whole month. And let your inspiration for that prayer be, I'm following the Sunnah, and I'm listening to the Quran, and I'm coming out and I'm praying the Salat in the Jama'at, and I'm doing one of the Sha'air of Al-Islam, one of the institutions of Al-Islam. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَذِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Whoever exalts the institutions of Allah, this religion, is a sign and an indication that he has a taqwa. Let one of your motivations be, I'm going to get through this Salat of Taraweeh and have sabr on this Salat of Taraweeh, and hopefully based on that hadith, that Allah Ta'ala will complete those deficient wajib prayers by the prayers that the individual does that are from the nawafil and the sunan. And another prayer that is very important in that regard is the Salat of At-Tawbah. The Salat of At-Tawbah. Because in it, are a lot of raka'at, and in it are a lot of statements of dhikr, a lot of statements that the Prophet taught us, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam, that hopefully will be put in our mawazeen yawmul qiyamah of good deeds. Let us not be of those people, ikhwani, who do not take advantage of the freedom that we have to go to the masjid, the freedom that we have to stand up and to pray to Allah Azza wa Jal. For verily this salat is critical. Some of the companions were sitting with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he informed them that Ad-Dajjal was going to come. And as you all know, Ad-Dajjal, he is the akbar fitnatan ba'da khalqi Adam, as the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ma min nabiyyin illa wa qad hadhara qawmuhu min fitnati ad-Dajjali. He said that there was no prophet except that he warned his people about the fitna of ad-Dajjal. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told his companions that if you complete your prayer, if you pray, then make sure you seek refuge in Allah Ta'ala from 4 things. He said, إِذَا تَشَهَّدَ أَحَدُكُمْ فَلْيَسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ تَعَالَى مِنْ أَرْبَعٍ. If you say the tashahhud, التَّهِيَّاتُ لِلَّهِ وَالصَّلَوَاتُ وَالطَّيِّبَاتُ. If you do that tashahhud, make sure you seek refuge in Allah Ta'ala. And one of the things he said, seek refuge from the fitnat al-Masih ad-Dajjal. If that Dajjal were to come back and he were to come here right now, instead of being inquisitive to go find out about the things that he's doing, the miraculous things that he's doing, you have been instructed and I've been instructed, run the other way. Because a person will think that he's on his religion, and he will think that he or she, they're on their deen. But a Dajjal can make you turn around and say that he is your Lord. And this is why it is critical that we learn the Aqidah of Al-Islam. If we learn our religion, and from our religion is our Aqidah, the mu'taqid of what we believe, we will know that Allah Azza wa Jal, he can't be seen in this dunya. He can't be seen. And a Dajjal will be seen in the dunya. So you know he's disqualified. He can't be Allah Azza wa Jal. No matter what he does, no matter what he says. If the person has the correct Aqidah, that individual knows that Allah Azza wa Jal is not a'war, and a Dajjal is a'war. He has one eye that's protruding and it's messed up, and the other eye is not like that. Allah Azza wa Jal is far away from any blemishes. Allah Azza wa Jal, he doesn't have anything that is negative about him subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ta'khuduhu sinatun wala nawm. Allah doesn't sleep, nor does he get tired. He doesn't go into slumber, because it's a sign of da'f. It's a sign of being weak. Lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. None is like unto him. Lam yulid wa lam yulid. He wasn't born, nor did he have any babies. That's a sign that someone is da'if. The one who has babies, he has to do certain things that show this individual, things come out of him, things are happening with him or her that are indication that they're weak. The man, he needs a woman because he has desires, a shahwa, sign of weakness. And she needs a man, sign of weakness. When they come together, the result of that is weakness. All of that is weakness upon weakness. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is not like that. So the shahid of the kalam is, the Nabi told his companions, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, that the Dajjal is going to come and he's going to be on the earth for 40 days. Arba'in. 40 days. The first day will be like 1 year. The second day will be like 1 month. The third day will be like 1 week. And the subsequent days are going to be like these days that we have. So the first day of those 40 days will be like the duration of 1 year. The second day will be like 1 month. The third day a week. And then the subsequent days will be like the days as we know them. When the companions heard this, whether they understood it or they didn't understand it was irrelevant. They were not the type of people who would say, Ya Rasulullah, how is that? We don't understand it. When Allah said in the Quran, Ar-Rahman, Ala al-Arsh istawa, Allah is over his throne in a way that he knows its reality and it befits the way that he wants to be over his throne. They didn't say how, why. They just believed in it and they kept it moving. So when he told them this way of Ad-Dajjal's taqseem in the ayam, the way he's going to be in the earth, the first question that they asked him was, Ya Rasulullahi, kayfa nusalli? Ya Rasulullah, how do we perform the salah? If he's going to be here and one day is like a year, and another day is like a month, and another day is like a week, then kayfa nusalli? How was the salah? He told them, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, qaddiruha taqdira. Qaddiruha taqdira. Then you do your best to try to figure it out, to try to measure it out and try to figure it out. So this goes to show, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is it shows the level and the position of the salat in the hearts and the minds of the companion of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. And another indication of the importance of the salat is that the companions, as Abdullah ibn Shihab al-Uqayli said, Abdullah ibn Shihab al-Uqayli, he said, ما كان أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يرون شيء من الأعمال تركه كفر غير الصلاة. The companions of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not consider the abandonment of any action as being kufr, with the exception of the salah. If those companions knew of an individual who he didn't give zakat, they made excuses for him. She didn't wear hijab. If they saw that, they didn't say not wearing hijab is okay. It's wrong, but they would make excuses. Maybe she's a new Muslim. Maybe she's a slave, and the slave girl doesn't have to wear the proper, total, complete hijab. Maybe she's from the Bedouins and she doesn't know. They would say things like that. If the individual did not participate in the jihad fi sabilillahi, then they would say maybe that individual has to take care of one of their parents or both of their parents. Maybe that individual was sick. If they didn't fast the month of Ramadan, they said, لَعَلَّ رُبَّمَا عَصَى. It is possible that this person has an issue that makes them exempt and they're taking advantage of the rukhsa. But if the companions knew that a person was not praying, they knew that this person abandoned prayer, then those companions said, this is a kafir. This individual is not a Muslim. And if we were to look at our situation, there is not a single person from amongst us, except that we know multiple people, a number of people who don't pray. And some of those people who don't pray, they're people who are close to us in our homes. They are our relatives. They are our neighbors who are close to us. They're people who we work with and we work for. They don't have any salat whatsoever. And if you were to bring that person, you say, Ya Abdullah, Ya Amatallah, Atu'min billahi, do you believe in Allah? Wal yawm al-akhir, do you believe in the Rasul? They're going to say, Allahumma na'am, u'minu bihada kullihi. I believe in all of that. And if you were to say, then limadha la tusalli, why you don't pray? They'll say, I pray in my heart. My heart is good. My heart is good. Those companions, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and the rest of the companions, radiyallahu anhum ajma'in, they used to consider the one who didn't pray as a kafir billahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this goes to show the level and the importance and the position of the salat in the hearts and the minds of Rasulillahi's companions sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. In addition to that, if those companions and the people of the past, if they wanted to take knowledge from someone, and this is what the companions passed off to their students from the tabi'een. If you want to take knowledge for someone, the people of the past will go and they would travel to the place of that individual, and they just wouldn't go into his masjid and start writing knowledge from him and taking and studying under him. They would step back. They would be back in the dark where they're not seen, and they would observe that person's prayer. They would see, does he pray towards a sutra as the Prophet commanded, sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, إِذَا صَلَّ أَحَدُكُمْ فَلْيُصَلِّ إِلَى سُتْرَةٍ. If one of you prays, then you should pray towards a sutra. You should put something in front of you so that when you pray, no one will walk in front of you, between you and your sutra. This is what they used to look at that individual. Did he do raf'ul yadayn in the correct places? When he used to make sajda, did he make the sajda the correct way? Did he put his feet together? Did he have a tu'ma'nina in his prayer? And he has sakina and waqar, and he was praying easily? Because if the person prayed very quickly and he didn't give the prayer its haqq, they were reluctant to take from him, because they used to think, their point of view was, if this person does not have the diyana and the adala and the discipline to give attention to his prayer, he's not disciplined in the prayer, he's stealing from his prayer, then clearly he's an individual you can't trust in knowledge. The Prophet said about the prayer and about this action of the Salaf, sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, inna asraq al-rajul alladhi yasruqu salatuhu. The biggest thief is the one who steals from his prayer. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.